In October 2009, local police and TV stations started receiving calls from a man in Fort Collins, Colorado, claiming that his 6-year-old son was missing and he thinks he might have floated away in a homemade weather balloon that was in the backyard. This attracted instant media coverage. A news chopper tracked the balloon through the sky on live TV, and soon the entire nation anxiously watched on as this balloon boy story unfolded. When the balloon eventually landed 90 miles away from the family's home, no one was inside. That's when the 6-year-old suddenly emerged from the family's house, where he had been hiding the entire time. Or so he says. Ultimately, the entire incident was deemed a hoax and publicity stunt devised by the boy's parents. The dad pleaded guilty to attempting to influence a public servant and was sentenced to 90 days in jail and $36,000 in restitution. And his wife was sentenced to 20 days of weekend jail, whatever the hell that is. In 2016, a husband and wife in their late 80s were kicked out of the house they lived in for over 50 years after being scammed by their grandson. Chad Moore convinced his grandparents that he would provide them with lifelong financial support if they signed over their house to him. He was family, so they trusted him. Big mistake, because what Chad ended up doing was taking out 3 loans on their house, which he used to fund trips to Las Vegas, never paid back the loans, and then sold the house, all without his grandparents ever knowing. In fact, he would lure his grandparents away for the afternoon while realtors came into the house to show it to potential buyers. In the end, the couple were evicted from their longtime home and left with no money and no place to go. Thankfully, a friend and neighbor created a GoFundMe page for the couple, which raised $129,000 for them to go live in a mobile home in a senior living community. Let's talk about what this woman did to an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor. 36-year-old Peaches Sturgo met the man on a dating site several years ago. She lured him in romantically, said her name was Alice, then got him to send her $25,000 to pay her lawyers for some court settlement she made up. Then she started pretending to be the bank, forging emails and documents, and said he needed to send her even more money to keep her account from being frozen, but that he would eventually get his money back. For the next 4 years, she lied her way into him sending her check after check after check. 62 checks to be exact, totaling around $2.8 million, his entire life savings. He even lost his New York City apartment thanks to her. Meanwhile, she was buying cars, a condo, designer clothes, going on expensive trips, she bought a boat. Luckily, the sham finally came to an end when the man told his son what was happening and he stepped in. Peaches Sturgo was charged with wire fraud and could be sentenced up to 20 years. This scam has circulated the web for years as a popular internet urban legend. The scam targets women walking alone in a parking lot. Someone approaches them, pretending to be selling great perfume for a cheap price. They pull out a bottle for the woman to smell, and when they do, they go unconscious. Because what they're really inhaling is a colorless anesthesia like chloroform. And the first instance of this story dates back to 1999 when a woman reported being approached by a female selling perfume. She took a couple of sniffs, and the next thing she knew, she woke up miles away in a different parking lot, confused and missing the $800 she had in her purse. A toxicological test revealed no foreign substance in her system, and no medical expert knew of a substance that would knock you out completely with just 2 whiffs. Regardless, the knockout perfume legend was born. Over the years, there's been little evidence to support that this scam has ever happened. What do you think? Have you ever experienced or heard anything about the perfume scam being true? Leave it in the comments. If you want concert tickets, don't buy them from someone on Facebook who has the same name as the artist. In 2017, a Michigan man was tired of Kid Rock tickets selling out before he could buy them. So he decided to contact Kid Rock himself through Facebook. He found a profile with the name Bob Ritchie, which is Kid Rock's real name, and was convinced that this must be his personal account. He reached out to him, asking to buy 2 tickets to his upcoming show. Kid Rock responded back that each ticket would cost $300 and to send the money via wire transfer to a Walmart in North Carolina, which made absolutely no sense. But the man did it. He also messaged Kid Rock a copy of his and his wife's license because that was required in order for him to purchase the tickets. The man never received his tickets, and that's when he realized he'd been scammed. He contacted police and the local media so he could share his story and warn others. And it paid off, because a viewer saw his story on the news and graciously gave him 2 tickets to the concert. That's it for today's scam. If you enjoy scam stories like these, hit that subscribe button, because I try to post 1 to 2 times per week. So until next time, keep your eyes open for scams.